experience.
He easy to get along with.
Yeah.
We don't have the greatest experience with him, although we're cool.
Oh.
We're cool now, but we
Something here.
He was a little bitch one time when we had him in the. We like him. Though I like him now. We've since made up, but he was really. I don't know if it was a bad time, but he came in here. He came in here one time and was knocked it out of the park. He was great.
Great radio guy.
Guy. Then the second year, they like pushed him through the door to get him in the studio. And again, they were telling him, remember last time you were here, it was great. And he was like, I don't remember. And then he came in the studio and he was like, oh, and he sat down. And you could tell he had blown up a little bit and didn't want to do it. Sometimes we get people that come in like that and then we ease them into it and they're like, all right, I'm having a good time. No big deal. We turned it around, But he just maintained and carried on. And then him and Galvin got into it a little bit. And then he just turned into he just was like a real dick.
I just looked over. You were looking at the ceiling. I could tell you were doing some reflection.
He said that his show had to be on for
2 seasons
in the United States to get residuals and do it there, or syndication. And he had made a joke about making fun of Americans and stuff. And I go, maybe should have been nicer to Americans then.
Oh, okay.
Joke.
I feel like you're not over it though. I'm looking at.
Oh no, I think he's a dick. Yeah. And he was like, "You're a bigot," and this and that. And I was like, "Jesus Christ!"
Oh wow, and it was on there.
Oh yeah,
it
was a whole
been good
thing.
radio though.
Well, of course. Now once they start fighting, I'm just fueling the fire, trying to make it worse.
Yeah.
But the worst part about it was we didn't kick him out of the studio or anything like that. He sat here the whole time, gave him every opportunity to say whatever he wants. Then he leaves and goes to the club. And then calls Galvin a C word at the club.
Oh, yeah.
And
not to my face.
Not to his face. And I tweeted at him. I said, look, do it again. I live 6 miles from the club. I'll come right down there. And he didn't. And then he went on Rogan the next week, and he said that we said that he to go back to his own country. And he totally turned it around. And we didn't. All Galvin said was, hey, if you need America to get you in syndication, maybe you should not make less anti-American jokes. He was just joking. He didn't even.
It was clearly a joke.
Yeah, we're not those guys that are like.
The fact that the comedian didn't get it, I was just like, okay.
His attitude was just really bad. But also, it was a long time ago. I think he might have been going through some stuff at the time. And since then, after that, his next special came out. And I watched it, and I laughed my ass off, and I tweeted, as much as this pains me, I have to say that Jim Jeffries' new special is hilarious, and he hit me up on DM, and we're cool.
Also, and I think he's a funny guy, and I was the one who said, I go, bring him in. I go, he's really funny. This guy's really funny and stuff. And it was
one of the best.
Yeah, it was just one of those things that I was just like, all right, whatever.
Well, I'm a hold a grudge kind of guy, but I could tell. I can almost tell between the first time and this time, people are going to come in there. They're having a bad day. You know what I mean? There's plenty of times I've walked in here starting off in a bad mood, and it's not reflective of who I really am. So I don't really.
I mean, this would if I was still gambling, this would be a terrible show right now. Trust me. Yeah, cool. You want me to do a joke? Great. Anyways, the Yankees lost last night.
When do you stop? When do you like what was the thing that made you stop gambling? That you finally. Or did you have to go? Did somebody have to have an intervention?
I mean, by the way, I have stopped and started a couple times.
I got you.
But the first time was I didn't have any money, and so I went into GA's, a 12-step program. I literally thought they were going to write checks to me. I don't know why I thought that.
What do you mean?
I thought you would go into I'd never been to a 12-step meeting, so I thought I was going to go to Gamblers Anonymous, and they'd be like, "Hey, how much do you owe? All right, good thing you showed up."
Oh, you thought they were going to bail you out of the debt?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Oh,
in my
that's
brain,
hilarious.
I literally after the meeting was like, "Who writes the checks?" Idiot. And then there was another time where I started getting threatened. Like I owed money to people that were unsavory.
So I can say this because I think he's still in Las Vegas, but my dad was one of those people who would threaten you. He worked for a bookie and would be the collections guy.
That's a hard job.
Yeah, he was pretty good at it. And my dad, I'm convinced after reading Artie Lang's book, was one of the guys that Artie writes about having. I kept trying to get them together to see if they recognize each other.
It's a fine line you got to walk. I'm saying this from experience, and the other side is because you can't, even if you want to like threaten violence or something, you still have to go be able to earn money. You know?
Right.
You also don't want to like push them so far that they run away. It's like this. I think there's an art to that. Like, I mean,
the ultimate goal is to not kill you. It's because to kill you, now you still owe them 10 grand.
Yeah, right.
It's to get the money and get it back. But the idea that that the VIG is just rolling on that while you're waiting, you know what I mean? And it makes it impossible to pay up on.
Yeah. And then then you bet other places to try and
catch up with
that
one.
And then if you do win that, it doesn't teach you the lesson.
No.
You're not like, you know what? I'm done now. You're like, well, I won there, and this is my lucky hat that if I turn this way, like stupid stuff.
So you've had to pay a bookie a significant amount of money?
Yeah, I had bought like a Ford F-150 crew cab, like this whole thing, whatever, and then, off the CarMax.
Oh, really?
Because I had to go to a place where I told my friend on the way there, I'm like, this is the address I'm going to. I don't think I'm not going to die, but
the last place I was.
Yeah, literally. And then I showed up, and there was one guy with two other guys that were kind of the muscle.
Right.
And they were, this is how scary it was. The two guys that were the muscle, one of them may have been armed, and they were playing video games, not looking at me.
Right.
But they were there, kind of like the twins in Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Like that level where you're just like, yeah, these guys are bad.
They're always looking at you.
And this guy came up this close to my face, like an inch away from my face, and he's a spitter too. Maybe he's intentionally a spitter. And he just is yelling at me and braiding me and you can't do anything. You'd be like, yeah.
Yelling at you about you being late?
Yeah, the money I owed, how long I've owed it, what are you going to do, blah, blah, blah. And then I talked my way out of it. But then I got back out and I went and sold so he was effective. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Just like CarMax, like, yeah, whatever, this thing. And then I took I was in Miami. I took the Metro Rail to work for about a year and a half. It was right when iPods came out. Thank you, Apple, because like when iPod was like, okay, this isn't as bad not having a car. It's like I have all my songs here, so then I'm walking in the Miami heat.
Did you watch the movie The Gambler with Mark Wahlberg?
I've watched every gambling movie.
I would imagine.
What's the most closest to real life?
There's one called Mississippi Grind.
Yeah, with Ryan Reynolds. Yeah.
That. I'll tell you. You know which one's the most is Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
1000%. To the point when I watched it, I thought either Adam Sandler has a gambling problem or he studied somebody with a gambling problem.
Yeah.
Because that scene at the end, I don't know if you've seen it. You guys have all seen it.
Yeah, we all did.
Yes.
There's a scene at the end where those guys get trapped in the like the little thing at the jewelry store.
Yeah.
And he's putting that parlay bet in.
Yeah.
Which are impossible to. I know that online people are like, this guy hit a $5 parlay to make $1 million. It's like, yeah, you put that on there.
Right.
You didn't put the million other tickets. So he's hitting this impossible parlay. And I think people watching that aren't gambling addicts would be like, why wouldn't he just pay those guys? And that behavior, I was like 100%. I would do what he's doing. Where you're sitting there, you're watching it, and you're saying, "Hey!" He's like talking to the guys that again are, that are gonna hurt him.
Yeah.
And then he wins it, and he's like, "All right." He has that and it's just that movie. 100%.
That movie created such anxiety for me. Carmen hated it. Like I feel
a lot of people. Yeah, you either love that or you hate that and stuff. But yeah, there is anxiety for sure.
I didn't hate it. I just didn't get it. It just seemed very blah.
It to me, it made me. It made me. I hate The Weeknd because of that movie. I hate. I do. I really.
I like The Weeknd now, but it took me a while to not like him because he played himself and he was a scumbag.
Right. Like I feel like that's who he really is.
So because I wrote on Jim's show, I'm in the Writers Guild, and they give you like the movies ahead of time, like before they come
screeners.
Out. And I happened to be for a Christmas. I went to Bali, and I was waiting for my girlfriend at the time to meet me there, and And so I was just in Bali in this paradise. And I had my own pool in this hotel. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch this movie, Uncut Gems. And I was just in my swimming pool in paradise. And like, it almost made me, I was like shaking watching it. And I was like, why am I doing this to myself? That one, another one, Rounders is very good. Again, behavior that he's doing. Like even at the end when he's like got the money and then KGB's like, oh, I guess you could. I guess you got your money back. And then he's like, all right, I'm back in. And he's telling himself what you would tell yourself as a gambler to kind of justify it, like, so it's.
By the way, because the gambler, that's the same thing. Is he gets the money and then he winds up betting it at the end of doing.
But in the Gambler, okay, there's a scene. This is how many times I've seen all these games. I'm pretty sure the Gambler is the one where he hits on a 17 in blackjack.
I'm not sure.
So I think he has a hand, which I don't know if you're familiar with all the in blackjack. Sure. 17, you're supposed to stay. They call it the mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Where it's like you want to hit her, but you don't. Anyways, that's it's a joke that I don't think you can do.
Oh no, you're good there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there's a scene where he's just like doubles or hits on a 17 and stuff. Okay, this goes back to being a good and bad gambler. I think that's I would never do that. Like, so that, but it still had a lot of anything that makes me feel anxious is a good gambling movie. So The Gambler did that. Rounders, Uncut Gems, Mississippi Grind. Yeah, those are.
Did you know Ralphie May at all?
Very little. I didn't know him that well, but yeah,
we were pretty good friends, and we would gamble together. And Ralphie had money, but I wouldn't call Ralphie rich. Yeah. Like Bert's rich now, and Tom's rich now. Those guys are rich. Ralphie had some money back when people were just really starting to make money. Ralphie would double down on 17s. He played everything wrong. Everything wrong. Split tens, and he won every time. It was unbelievable. He was so difficult to play with, and then to watch him play and see him make these moves and do it, and then you're like, all right, I want to try. I want to do that. I want to split tens. It's ridiculous.
Because you can make those hands.
Sure,
you're not supposed to.
No.
I have. It's funny because there's comedians that I know that if I've done shows in Vegas with them. Right, I do shows in Vegas at the I'm like at the Comedy Cellar at the Rio, all that stuff. And so people will be like, "Oh, is it okay if I gamble in front of him?" I'm like, yeah, I'll probably have a drink. You're an alcoholic. Whatever. And I will try to tell people like, but they're always like, "Oh, you must think I'm a gambling addict." I'm like, "You're betting like $25." That does not move my needle at all. That is just like I am dead inside when I want. To me, I'm like, this is lame.
I went last week to the casino here to the Hard Rock, and this guy was betting. They had blackjack, and then they had a side bet to match the dealer, so that your card would be the same as theirs. And this guy was betting $30 a pop just on that, on top of the $50 to $100 a hand that he was betting, and crushing it on that bet. And I still
crazy.
But he was crushing it. He was playing two hands, and he would get at least one hand every time. It was unbelievable. And I just watched this guy making stacks of chips, and in my head I was like, do it, just do it, just do it. And I couldn't get myself to do it because
you shouldn't.
No, I didn't, and thank God I didn't, because in my head I was like, okay, let's assume I did it this time, and I lost every one of them, so I would have lost.
Yeah, those side bets. Here's a little tip for everybody out there, gambling tip from a guy that's gambling. Don't ever do those side bets.
They're never for you.
I think there's like a buster bet you can do on blackjack that's what they call bust. Well, that's like the best odds, I think. But everything else is like it's just like little lures that the casinos put out. Like, hey, look at that. What's this one? And they just want people. Eventually, someone will hit it, and you'll be like, well, I guess I gotta. Yeah. And then once you're in, you're in.
But I could win $500 on it.
Yeah.
But also, most people are taking like, you'll cash in for $500, and they'll give you 25 ones or $25 in red chips just so you have for that side bet. And this guy betting, $25, $30, $50 a hand on that was ridiculous, but it paid off for him, and he did well. Do you play any other card games, or did you
play everything? Yeah.
You play 3-card poker?
Yeah, like 3-card poker.
3-card poker.
All the table games we're talking about. They call them carnival games.
Yeah,
I don't know if you know that, which is a bad sign. Like the thing where you got to throw the disc on that. So, I'd play the Ultimate Texas Hold'em. I used to play. I used to play Baccarat a lot.
Baccarat.
Because when I stopped gambling when I lived in Miami, then I moved to LA, and then I was like, oh, I guess I can. I started gambling again because I kind of took away the safeguards that I put up, like the roadblocks about. And there in these casinos in LA, there's a lot of them, more than you think, but it's like huge Asian population there, and they love Baccarat.
Yeah.
And they have like books out, like people will have books out, and like I can figure out which, and so I started getting the Baccarat, which is like the James Bond one.
Yeah.
I have those square markers.
Right.
You're like, what? I'd never be that wealthy where you
never
get
the square one. Yeah.
Bending the cards.
So I play that. I've done everything. It's like, again, we go back. I always go an alcoholic. Do you think an alcoholic doesn't drink Jaeger? I mean,
yeah, I'd imagine so.
What do you got?
know. I know some people who are gamblers will just bet on games and stuff. That's why I was saying I don't know if you were into the.
I think it ramps up. I started sports gambling, and then that takes too long. But now it doesn't. So you start going to casinos. You're like, this is instantaneous. You know? And then you're like, all right, let's keep going. And now with these DraftKings and stuff, and I know I was making a joke about like, I'd be sponsoring stuff, but I think it's rough now for kids. It's like gamified.
Yeah, I worry about it. I have a 19-year-old son, and every once in a while he's like, I bet on the game. I'm like, how are you betting? It bugs me. I get worried that
live betting, where they're just like, and again, it's kind of like that side bet. They're like, all right, I know you're losing this, but do you think Jokic is going to get over 31 points? He's at 28 now. You got a minute left, and you're like, and you're just like,
this guy betting, crushing on the WNBA. He's killing him, but he's a winner. He wins. Unless you're,
if you wouldn't have told me that you can stop, I would, and you said you bet in the WNBA, I would say you have a problem.
Well, there's two things. Is I have my actual financial records that I turned in, and I was up this year.
Wow.
Yeah, from gambling and stuff. But also, I'm very much like if my wife would want to go to the casino every day.
Yeah.
She would want to every day. She does, and I don't. So I know that, and I'm never like, oh, I can't pay the electric bill or anything like that. I know. I go, we're not doing that. This is for fun. And I always tell people whenever they're gambling, I go, take money you can afford to lose. I go have some fun. I said, but yeah, if you're trying to pay your next car payment, don't do it.
Yeah, good for you, man. That's
Also,
good.
I actually put out bets for people. I do stats and stuff. I do stats and I tell them to straight bet it. I said, this is not a parlay. Everybody always parlays it. I go, what are you doing? I go, you're putting 4.
Yeah.
I go, they're all plus money. I go, just bet them straight. You'll be fine. But nobody listens.
You're like Ace from Casino. Because I watched that movie and I'm always like, man, he seems like he knows what he is. Like, this is, by the way, this is why I, with all the damage it's done to my life, I don't hate gambling.
Yeah.
Because I think it's fun. The same way I can go drink and some people can't. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Ruin their life. Like, I appreciate that. Like, I am jealous of that. When you say this, I'm like, this doesn't compute to me. But but I think
Listen,
that's
I don't
great.
win. I don't win all the time, but I am up. That's the thing. So
Yeah. So
I'm such a dick because I'm like, hey, I bet you Forrest want to go to the casino this weekend. Like, I'm like, you should go just check out the Hard Rock. Like,
I've been to the Hard Rock. Don't worry.
I keep trying to get Bobby Kelly to drink with me. He's been sober for 30 years. Like, I don't know. He just be a lot of fun.
Yeah, next time he's in town, I know him to.
Yeah.
You can go gamble with him. I'll drink.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's so funny. Forrest Shaw is going to be at Side Splitters in Tampa this weekend. Do you have anybody with you that you know, or are you just local guys?
I just local guys.
Yeah.
BT always gets great people there. So.
Yeah. The last time I was telling these guys, the last time I did the podcast with you and Dave,
the Merman podcast.
Yeah. We were talking about you guys were talking about a guy who spilled boiling water on his feet, and I was like, wait a second, the guy who just bought my car spilled boiling water, and it turned out to be the same guy.
That's right.
Yeah.
Holy cow. By the way, you were so funny on the. It was so great.
Oh, it was
nice
a great
of you
time.
to come down there.
It
and
was
do
great.
This. I know you do this, and then. I think you were lured in by the barbecue more than our podcast.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
And it's just so great is that every once in a while you would come up on the schedule, and I never met you before, so I didn't know you, and I'm always like, I don't know, because sometimes people come in here that don't know us and they don't want to be here, and it's just miserable. So unless somebody says to me, hey, you'll like this guy or you have this guy on, I don't know. So I went down there, and then I got to meet you, and I love Dave.
Yeah.
And I was like, how have we not had this guy on before? And it's since before you were on last time. And it's Dave that I like. He just one of those people that I like hanging out with. He's just a good dude, and he also can cook really well.
Yeah, he's great. We started comedy together, Dave Williamson and I. So, and then he and we honestly started that podcast because we live on other sides of each other in LA, and it was just kind of. I mean, conveniently for him, we recorded the podcast literally a half mile from the house, and I was about 13 miles from me, which in LA terms is 100 miles. Right. So, but we had a great time doing that podcast, and I've just remembered the boiling water and the feet guy. So, yeah,
the guy who bought my Hummer sent me pictures that he was looking at possibly selling the Hummer because he spilled boiling water on his feet. Yeah. And then Dave is telling the story about a friend of his that spilled boiling water. And I'm like, this can't possibly have happened to two different people in the same realm. Yeah. And it turned out it was the same guy. Dave knew him. Yeah,
that was a great time. I remember we asked the question, something about alien. If an alien was in your garbage, would you kill him or something like that? And you asked if they were cute, which I thought was such a funny answer.
It looked like
the cuter the thing. I think you said I saw a raccoon one time and had an apple. It was cute, and I was like, that is a good point. I think we don't kill the cute things.
Right. So, it looked like a bat. I'd swat at it.
Yeah. So if an alien comes down and it's it's adorable, it looks like a little.
Yeah,
a little Pomeranian or something.
Then
all right,
then we can coexist for sure.
Take over our planet.
Comes out looking like alligator people. We got issues, man. There's no way that's happening.
The lizard aliens, we get killed right away.
Do you know anything about this comet that's on its way here?
No.
The AI Atlas. Have you heard about this?
I don't know anything about
it. It's great. I'd love to introduce this to people. So there is a Harvard professor who we have had on the show, a legit Harvard professor named Avi Loeb, and through the telescopes and all that, they find this comet that is 17 miles long. It's traveling at 130 miles per hour, and it has gone from one solar system to another. It's entered our solar system from another one. It's only the third time on record that that's happened, that we have record of. And it is on a direct course to come near Earth. And when it's closest to Earth, it'll be hidden directly behind the sun. And it's done some course correction in the way that, like, so they see something travel and they can predict where it's going to go, but it's done some course correction and changed a little bit to go around things. So this guy from Harvard is saying there's a possibility this thing could be manned and it could be a 17-mile long ship coming here from another galaxy, and that it's no coincidence that when it's closest to Earth, it's going to be hidden behind the sun where we can't see it. So if it was going to attack Earth, it would attack us from behind the sun where we don't know where it's coming from. Made a whole lot of sense, but the reason why I bring it up, I didn't know if you knew about it. Did you see the new story now?
No.
They expected to be here earlier than it was before. New calculations show that it's coming even sooner than we thought.
We got to get Avi back on.
October 29th was supposed to be the day that it was closest to Earth.
This year?
Yeah, this year. And now they're saying that it'll probably be here even maybe 2 weeks before that. Crazy.
So, yeah, but when it gets here early, it won't have the gate. Won't be open. So
it'll be stuck in
the gate.
Yeah, you couldn't get in here. It won't get in Earth.
First of all, I know who the Avi is.
Really?
There was a podcast I used to do where we had him on talking about aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he I've never been a big alien guy, but he didn't make it like we've aliens that visit us, but he was just like, they have to exist out somewhere in the universe.
Right.
So are you guys worried? Like, you think they're coming to attack?
No, I'm not worried about it. I'm excited about it.
He thinks it'll be cool.
I think it's going to be great.
I think too. I'm older than you guys. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
I just,
that's the thing. I don't want to die, and I certainly don't want my kids to die, but if we're all going to die together, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, if they do,
I thought it was going to hit, is what you were saying.
No, it's far enough away where it poses no danger to Earth. Yeah. But they're calling it a comet, but it really does not have the traits of a comet. It has no tail behind it. It changes, it course corrects, it does other things.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, and the best is I asked this guy, I said, you're a Harvard professor, and you bring this up to other Harvard professors, they laugh at you. And he said, no, that's what scientists do. They're supposed to say, hey, but what if? Yeah. He's like, I'm not telling you this is aliens, but I'm saying it could be.
Yeah,
it is a possibility.
That's what happened in Independence Day.
Yeah,
that's I think exactly what it looked like, a little comet, right, or something, and then it like
we woke up at one morning and they were all out there. They were all just hovering out there on Independence Day, and then the clock started ticking.
You know what I love in Independence Day is I don't know if you so Will Smith he's in the military and his wife is a stripper. Yeah, and then he wakes up. There's a spaceship over LA,
right?
And then she still goes into work.
Yeah, gonna run her shift.
And then she's like, "Business is slow." It's like, yeah, you think? It's like, I remember she complained. She's like, "Yeah, it's slow today."
This is where people might be preoccupied.
I was like, "Take the day off. Let's just like reassess what's going on." But
if we wake up and they're there one day, how long? And if they're not doing anything, they're just hovering up there. How long do we wait before we just get used to them being there and go, oh, whatever? They're there. They're still there. They're not doing anything. They're not opening the door. They're just hanging out right now.
I'll tell you what you do is you put a virus in there.
Oh, yeah. I heard that. I heard that.
Go up there.
But you know what? Not if they're cute.
Exactly.
If they're cute,
that's how long we wait. We got to see what they look
like.
If they come out and it looks like a little. It's all baby animals.
Yeah, like baby little furry
seal,
things.
Baby bear.
Yeah,
we're like,
all right, big and skeletal and wet and slimy.
Kill it.
We're like, oh no.
Mini pig, save it.
Yes.
Yeah. Anything wet, I think you're on.
Yeah, wet.
Wet's cute and wet.
Wet's a problem.
Yeah, things that are wet. It's weird.
That's bad. Go see Forrest Shaw. He's going to be at Side Splitters 960-1197 or sidesplitterscomedy.com. Make reservations, pick your seats, go see him. Thank you for getting up early and coming in, my man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we got to take a quick break and we'll come back and wrap things up. It's the Mike Calta Show. It's 102.5 The Bone.